Hello, Sarah. What we believe right now is that what we're seeing is a stabilization of the number of severe cases between, I would say, 650 last week. Today, we're around 700. So it is much better than what we experienced in the past few weeks, with almost a doubling of the cases every week, 10 days or so. So these are great news. On the other hand, we have still some unknowns about what it is happening. First thing, the point is that we're going back to school this week, and we expect that we will see a rise in cases. Second thing is that we're going to have, as you just mentioned, high holidays, and this means family gatherings, et cetera, et cetera. So on the one hand, this is kind of threatening. On the other hand, the good news is that, as you mentioned, also 2 million Israelis already got their third dose, and we are seeing some effectiveness, and these are great news, some effectiveness of this third dose in preventing severe disease, hospitalization, etc.
So, Professor, tell me, with this booster shot, every 6 to 8 months, is this something that we might have to keep doing?
No one can say that. Actually, we don't know, because first we are dependent. Okay, this is the first time we're giving a booster shot. So we have to see what is going to happen in, let's say, 6 months or 8 months or 10 months or 2 years from now. We can't tell if this will continue to be effective, because we know that from certain vaccines that, you just need a booster shot and it will, for 5 years, it will be, kind of efficient. But on the other hand, we know other situations in which, you need a shot every year, like flu. So these are some unknowns. The other thing are the variants. That also we cannot predict what will happen. Could be that we won't have any, problematic variant in the year or so, and we'll be okay with the current vaccine. And it could be that in 3 months or 6 months, we're going to have a very threatening variant, and then we'll need perhaps a new vaccine, etc. So let's hope for the best, and we can't make any prediction as far as the schedule of vaccination is concerned.
And Professor Cohen, as you know, Naftali Bennett, the Prime Minister, has just been having this face-to-face with Joe Biden there in Washington, D.C., telling Biden that people who haven't had the third vaccine shouldn't be admitted into the U.S. What is your opinion on this? It could be quite problematic, right?
I think that we need more data. That's the point. We just have initial data. Before we can make such statements, we need more data to show that the third dose is really, I would say, important in terms of contamination. I'm not talking about severe disease, because we just mentioned that, but I'm talking about contamination. We need more data for that. So I think it's a little bit premature, but, on the other hand, could very well be that, for example, people with a third dose will be exempted from quarantine. People with 2 doses will need to do, like we do in Israel, a week or so of quarantine. So I don't know, the particular details, but we need to assess first and foremost the information we have and then make decisions. And so
do we just need to learn to live with it, basically?
I think it is obvious. I mean, this is the point. We are trying to learn how to live with COVID-19. We are trying to find the right balance between measures and vaccination and I would say also, the daily life, what we can do, what we want to do, what we cannot do. So I think it's going to take a few more months, and I'm tempted to say a few more years until we find the right balance, but I'm being optimistic in any way.
Professor Cohen, really briefly, what is your advice to the public?
Right now, especially if you are, planning on gathering for the high holidays, and that you're going to be in contact with people that are, vulnerable, do a quick test or do a test before gathering. Keep your, I would say, distances. And also for the people that were not vaccinated with the first dose, you should really consider that, because it can save lives.